the gentleman in Portland, Frank, back on the Popko Project Podcast. How you guys doing?
Hello.
Good.
We're doing well.
I wish we recorded the pre-interview.
There's always more mojo than when you hit record.
No one can know what we were talking about.
It's probably good that we didn't.
I know.
Very proud.
Classified documents.
I'll release those at a later date.
Yeah.
On a platform to be named later.
Does the platform have the initials OF?
Maybe.
Okay. I'm on it, so just look.
I need to make some money. And Johnny's got to pay his gas bill.
UGI, man. They're fuckers.
Yeah, they're
The gas man.
the gas man.
I'm just kidding. If anybody's watching this from UGI, I love you guys. Don't blow my house up. Matter of fact, I don't pay enough. Please raise my bill.
I'm sure representatives are watching right now.
I'm looking forward to getting the electric bill this coming month for the air conditioners that have been running constantly. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised mine hasn't blown up yet.
It's disgusting. I can't wait till it's 10 feet of snow on the ground.
No, don't say that. Don't say that.
Can't wait. I'll be out there in my shorts and a t-shirt.
Don't say that.
I really would still rather this than winter, even though it's awful.
I'll take a nice spring.
Yeah,
fall's nice. The new PA fall's good because it's like
fall 70. Walks on the beach.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'll take a Michael Myers mask any day.
Oh man. But I have Paulie, Johnny, Chad, and Marty. I'm gonna start calling Chad like Chatty or Wessy.
Wessy.
All right, man.
Yeah.
My brother's one really good college friend used to call him Scotty, and then I was little Scotty. So that's the only nickname I've ever gotten because there's no nickname for Chad.
Call him the Chad.
I just wanted to,
or the Chad, as
I
Beef
wanted
calls
you to
Chad.
have an like a name that ended in E. Johnny, Polly, Marty. And you're Scotty.
Chud.
Chuddy.
My wife calls me that.
Chubby.
Chud.
Why do people call me that?
Chuddy?
Well, Paul, you're thinning out these days, bud.
You know,
I don't know what you're doing.
I can't tell you. I can't tell you.
You're like
It's on the Subway diet.
You're going backwards.
The Chet Atkins diet. I drink 6 bottles of whiskey and play guitar for 10 hours. I don't do it.
Yeah, I wish. So we did this about a year and a half ago on 420, and that got off the rails pretty quickly. I've decided that I was not going to partake in any kind of extracurricular activities tonight, not even booze. And not because I don't want to. I feel bad that I'm not now, but I am going for a stress test tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I guess this is what happens when you get older.
You feeling stressed?
So that's what I always thought. I always thought that that's what a stress test was. But I think they like stress your body out, like physically. I've been having shortness of breath after physical activity. And I don't do much of that. But like if I walk up steps, like it's very troublesome, I guess you could say. So I went for some tests, everything came back fine. And I want them just to say like, hey, you know what, you're fat. Because I could fix that, right? So I'm hoping it's not like
I see what you're saying.
Heart related.
Yeah.
But I'm 41. My dad died when he was 51. So I might have like 2 years left or 10 years left. Who knows?
I'm on the 10-year plan, but
yeah.
Vinny from the V-Spot texted me last week and said, I'm going for heart surgery tomorrow. So if I die, use this following text for all future V-Spot transactions, and then sent me a text saying, I agree to pay you $2,000 at least every time you play. But then he survived. So we're not going to make that much money ever.
Right.
Thanks, Vinny.
Thanks for living, Vinny.
Thanks a lot.
Well, he's got to support all 17 kids he's got.
What a
17
guy.
known kids.
Yeah.
What a guy. I feel like I talk about him every episode.
Yeah, he's an NAPA staple.
You should have like a sign behind you, like a sponsorship thing.
Yeah, I should have like the V spot. You found it.
Tonight's episode sponsored by the V Spot.
Yeah, maybe.
There's always room for endorsements, you know.
I'm not above that.
Yeah.
I'm not above that, but
Some
Portland
payola.
Frank, we've got a new song coming out. And by the time this airs, the song will be available streaming everywhere. And the song is called Buck.
Fun thing, some idiot screwed up the release date on the page that I was doing, and it's actually out now. Nobody knows that except you.
I knew that. I was
Oh,
gonna
really?
bring that up. I didn't know if anybody else knew
Because
yet.
all I ever get is the messages from everybody that, oh, it's not on Spotify. It's not on Spotify. So I did it.
You did it ahead.
I did a couple days early, and I figured
Yeah.
5 days should be more than enough time to catch it up to Spotify. But Chad just ruined the whole
Dang.
It's
They're
just
on
out
time.
now.
Well, this still won't air until after this is officially out, so it doesn't matter.
True. Yeah, we're
That's
not
fine.
spoiling anything.
Well, the video
currently.
won't be out now,
Right.
right?
The video's not
No,
out
the
now.
video's not out till Friday.
Night.
Right.
What day is that? 19th.
Yes, 19th.
Yeah.
19th? Is it 19th?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you're
Yeah.
watching or listening to this, you can go on YouTube and check out, or probably a Facebook page and check out the video. But it is out. Oh wow, how about this?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Well, I opened Spotify this morning, and right away, because I follow our band on Spotify, and as soon as I open Spotify, just right there it says "Buck" by Portland Frank, and I'm like, wait.
Oh, no.
I closed Spotify and opened it again. It's still there. I'm like, what the? Yeah.
Out today.
So,
Yeah, how about it?
Right.
a little pre-release, a little premature. It's all right.
Well, I mean, I've seen the video, I've heard the song, and I feel like this is a little bit different than what we've gotten from Portland Frank so far.
Yeah.
Is
No
that
tomfoolery to be had
is
about
that a
this.
fair assessment?
Oh yeah.
I feel like even like your the promotion of the song is different than stuff you've done before.
We outsourced our media production to a local company who knows what they're doing.
You sound so white right now. We outsource
Yeah.
our media production.
Yeah.
How do you outsource to a local company?
Well, basically what that means is that we paid Eric and Sarah Navrosky to shoot the video, and with that got a bunch of media that we were able to post.
Sick. So
We
you outsourced
insourced.
it. You outsource it to what, like Swarsville
Yeah.
down the line?
Yep.
It was up to Johnny. He would outsource it to India, but they never got back to him. So,
Yeah.
Thanks, Fiverr.
Still
you
don't
make-
know our Facebook password. We just know that once a week an Indian prince messages us saying, "Very nice, good man."
Great song.
They send money.
No, they do not. We get those, and we get the from your post will be deleted.
Oh yeah.
Saying this violates our code of conduct. You must take it down immediately.
I get that. I get emails from that and Facebook messages all the time. Do you guys get that too? Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because I thought maybe I
Yeah.
was just like I got hacked or something like that. It's like
No.
it's constant. I hate it.
Well, and if you pay to promote your content too, we learned that
It's worse.
the fiance has taught me that it pushes it towards people more likely to comment and interact, which we learned. We got a
Yeah.
lot of messages.
But it's interaction that you don't want.
Oh, absolutely. Somebody said we're the next Nickelback, but didn't spell Nickelback right.
Didn't spell nickel or back right.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that? Have you guys seen the documentary?
Yeah. Yeah.
My wife.
I have the exact same feelings about Nickelback that I did.
A documentary about Nickelback?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Netflix.
hate to love. or
I
something.
knew of no such thing.
How dare you?
It's good.
Well, I started watching
Yeah.
it, and my wife came in. She's like, "I wanted to watch that with you." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm interested to see it." I'm like, "Okay, I'll stop." And then that was 2 weeks ago, and I still haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm a
All I
big
know
fan.
is if Chad Kroger was like, "Hey, let's produce a song with your band." I mean, I'm not going to be like, "No, man, I don't like you."
No Chad Kroger.
I mean,
No.
why would you?
I think Paul might.
They're
No,
hit makers.
I mean, I would definitely do it.
Well, I feel like they were hit makers. I mean, I'm a huge Nickelback fan, but I
Can't go
mean,
wrong.
I'm trying to think of the year they kind of like lost me.
It's probably after Dark Horse. Was that
I think
that
that's
album?
what it was.
Yeah.
I should know this because I talk about it all the time.
It was me at 11, 12 years old. I was like, this is the heaviest music I've ever heard and ever will hear.
It doesn't get heavier than this.
It literally does not get heavier than
It
Burn It to
doesn't
the
get
Ground.
better than this. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It was Dark Horse 2008 because then they came out on Here and
Yep.
Now in 2011. That was terrible, and they never made up for it. I
Yep.
thought a song from Feed the Machine was good. Like, I think the song was called.
I don't know if I know a single Nickelback album by name.
How dare you?
Dark Horse is the only one I knew because it was one of the first CDs I got myself.
And people hate the song Photograph. I love that song.
Ooh.
And I found out that that's actually like a true like song. He like wrote that about like himself.
A real photograph?
Yeah, they
Sure.
once you watch the documentary, you'll see that they wrote it about their town.
And Chad was, I guess, a menace
Yeah,
Thank you.
to society.
the Chad.
But I
Chud.
mean, everything up until Dark Horse was great.
Yeah, can't go wrong.
I don't know how we got there. How do we get to Nickelback?
Mm,
The guy who said that we're gonna be the next Nickelback.
oh yeah.
Oh, Nickelback.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, the
We're doing the next
span.
Nickelback.
Nickelback.
The
Nickel
span.
like the element, and then Bach, BACH.
He
is how
only
spelled
used
it.
CHs.
Somebody today commented, "Sounds like a commercial," and I don't know if that's good or bad.
I take that as a compliment.
I did too. I was going to heart react the comment, but then I thought that he would reply saying, "No,
I
I,
should leave
didn't
this
mean that
be."
to compliment you."
What sounds like a commercial?
Apparently, Buck does. He posted on the teaser video
Oh,
we
Buck.
have.
Okay.
Saying it sounds like a commercial.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, I don't see that, but I take that as a compliment.
It is a commercial.
Can you talk about this? I know a lot of artists don't want to kind of like talk about what the song is about because they want it to be open for interpretation and the listener can take it however they want to. But I feel like there is a message behind it, especially with the video. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but can you talk about the song?
Do I have to?
I would love for you to. I mean, I got a little choked up during the video, so I would like for you to kind of talk about the video itself, if anything.
You're not the first person that said that.
Yeah.
There's
No.
been a couple people that we've kind of gave a little pre-listen to or pre-watch to, and some very manly men were brought to tears.
It's a good video.
I mean, that's
It's a great video. So let's start with, you got it produced by Novro Studios, Eric and
Sarah.
Sorry.
we should say Sarah and Eric.
Sarah and
Sarah.
Eric.
Sarah's the
Yeah,
best.
Ladies first.
Sarah kind of
She's
runs
the
the video
brains
side of the
Of
company.
that. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and she.
Real quick, I'm a little upset because they rejected my idea. I was going to dress up in the full Predator uniform, like the whole costume, and they said no, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
They couldn't figure out how to do the heat vision on the camera to make it look like he was Predator.
Right.
So
Plus, I'm not
Too
7'5".
narrow-minded.
I think they turned that down because they didn't want me lying naked in the mud so you couldn't see me. I think that kind of pushed the envelope of not doing it.
These were all real things that were said and came out, even jokingly. But these
Yeah.
were all things that we jokingly did talk about with them also.
yes,
Did
They
at
were
any
really,
moment-
really good sports about us being idiots
Okay.
like
I was gonna say,
100% of the time.
really like,
we
okay,
definitely. I don't know that we tested their patience, but I definitely think we gave it a run for their money.
Yeah. And like, I think
we
they enjoyed it.
definitely came close. Oh yeah.
And like, I think they had fun. And it actually is kind of crazy that with us being the way we are for basically the entire process, that we still got that good of a video.
It was
out of it.
incredibly.
I think that
yeah,
says
really
a lot about
productive.
us, and like a lot about them.
Yeah.
Because it was so like the whole time, like when we were screwing off and making all these jokes, like Sarah, you could tell she still just had like this vision that whole time, and then she made it like come to life so well. It was so good.
They do have
Yeah.
a 1-year-old, so they understand what dealing with a child is like. So
True.
Yeah.
True.
But that's
Yeah.
one. That's
Can't
one.
talk yet, though.
Quadruplets for a couple days. Yeah. No, but they were super. I mean, Sarah specifically, I mean, she pretty much, we had a pretty similar idea, but I mean, she storyboarded that video almost exactly how it was before we sat down and talked about it, and she came pretty damn close to what we were all thinking.
Pretty much,
You know,
yeah.
we didn't really change a whole lot. You know, we made it, I think, a little bit more vague than what had been illustrated, but other than that, like, she hit the nail on the head, and she was really great. They, both of them were really great to work with.
Was the song
big
produced there as
fans.
well, or just the video?
Just the video.
Cool. And where was the video done at?
It was done.
Ooh.
The one part of the video was shot at an arts building in Milton, which coincidentally, Johnny, Mr. Popko, do you remember Big Andy's? Way
Big
back
Andy.
in the day in Milton, Panacea used to play there a lot.
I don't think I ever made it to Big Andy's.
Okay, well, there was a bar called Big Andy's. It was in the old bank in Milton. Panacea shot their We the Broken video there.
Mm-hmm.
And this building was literally 2 doors down from there. Because when they gave me the address, I'm like, this is on, like, I think it's Main Street in Milton. I'm like, there's only a couple buildings on Main Street in Milton. Big Andy's was one of them. I said it's a one-way going the other one way, so it was literally two doors down. I was like, wow, 2 videos in 2 different decades.
The
same
That is
area.
weird.
That's funny. I remember Peppers and Panacea, but
You actually remember all that Peppers trips? I mean, you were
I was there.
You were there.
I was there.
Spirit.
I remember enough. I could envision the room.
The shithole.
That was fine.
Say poople.
What I would give for a room like that right now.
I would give my right arm.
I mean, seriously.
That, nightcaps, club access, whatever you want to call it. Blue
Nightcap,
lounge.
man. Yeah.
All those rooms, a staircase.
I keep saying that I want to open a club or a venue. I have no money. And I would probably lose my ass if I even tried, but I feel like it's like my calling.
Popko's
I could
Playhouse.
see that.
Popko's play, and then it could be an exotic dance club.
After hours, it could be like a brothel.
I think it
be-
could be music venue at night, but public access television by day.
Yeah.
We have like
Yeah.
local reptile experts or like people from Claws and Paws come down with a goat.
And then like late night, just
I
like
watched
just
Oh yeah.
problems. But no, seriously though, like I wish there was a place that was like not too big but not too small. Like, you know, in Wilkes-Barre we had Carl Hall, which is an all ages venue. It's no longer there. Not a lot of places. I mean, we had the Jazz Cafe. Obviously, you guys have played there. In Wilkes-Barre, where else do you perform at?
Oh man, that's about it, huh?
That's pretty much about
Really?
sums up.
V-Spot, maybe once a year, twice a year.
Well, the V Spot in Scranton, but so Scranton has at least a little bit more.
Yeah. Wilkes-Barre, I don't know anything in Wilkes-Barre other than
With the Jazz
River
Cafe.
Street, yeah.
Played, yeah.
That's a problem.
yeah.
It's a big problem. Now that I say it out loud, it's like, wow, that's a real big problem. I thought there was another one somewhere.
Not that we've been to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least like
Another one.
Scranton, you have the V Spot. The Ritz is doing some stuff. Harry's is kind of like, I don't know if that's really like a venue, but
Jermaine's trying, man. I'll give him props.
who's Jermaine?
Jermaine
The owner.
Jones.
Of where?
Harry's.
Harry's. Well, I mean, when I say it's like it's not a I wouldn't call it a venue for music. I think it's a
would agree
cool
with that.
spot, right? It's a very cool spot, but I mean maybe it is. I haven't been in there since it's changed hands.
It's the same.
It's the same. But
About the same. Yeah.
When did it last change hands again? Recently?
Yeah,
Like a
end
few
of
years
last
ago.
year, I want to say. No,
Oh,
end of
really?
last year. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what they booked there anymore. They have
We
like
played there.
to,
a lot of
oh, did you
cover
guys
stuff,
play
right?
recently?
We played a few months ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it was November now, I think. Jeez. Yeah.
Wow.
It was really funny because it's kind of like out of the way from downtown, and I think we started at 7 maybe, or started at 8, which is kind of a little early for downtown. So there were like 8 people in there when we started, but he had a guy like a videographer come in who like set up a lighting rig on the stage and had like a professional like DSLR and was like getting up in our faces and like had a little portable smoke machine and was like doing like a promo video. And there were like 6 people at the bar like blocking their ears. It was an experience.
But they're trying. A for effort.
Yeah, no, he's giving it a good go.
Yeah.
You gotta appreciate it.
But yeah, Wilkes-Barre sucks.
Yes.
Dry as hell.
That's terrible. Well, we should
Tap the
fix
market.
that. We should fix that.
She's
But
got this, man.
in any case, video shot downtown Milton, or Milton. Maybe there's not a downtown there.
And
Main Street.
the other half of it was actually shot at Eric and Sarah's house.
Okay.
Address will not be disclosed.
I know where it is.
I don't even actually know.
I was not there, unfortunately.
I just know you take a left at this thing and a right at this thing, and you're there. So
Yeah, I think I passed it when I was going there the first time. But talk about the video itself, if you can. I hope you can, because it's like I said, I was moved. It moved.
you have to be a little more specific about what do you want to talk about the video.
Well, I mean, the storyline of it. I mean, is it relative to the song? Because sometimes songs, the video doesn't match the song. Like, I mean, like, talk to me about the song and the video and how it all came together.
Well, let's start with the song then.
Okay, wherever you want to go.
We were just the song's actually about like a couple years back, my dad wasn't doing very well, and we knew that it wasn't going to be very long before he was not with us anymore. And we were just kind of hanging out in the basement one day, and Johnny came in with the actual riff of the song and just started playing it, just messing around. And he said something. And if I remember, I think he said, we were just joking around, and he said, "Give me wings," because we were always eating chicken wings or something like that. And I thought he said, "Give me strength." And I just kind of ran with it. And I think it took about half hour to finish the whole thing. Yes, no, guys? You were there.
We did. It was quick. Yeah, we literally did the whole arrangement that day, I want to say, minus a couple very small tweaks, and Paul pretty much had the lyrics done by the time we left. It was fast.
I didn't know about that part about the "give me strength" thing.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Because we're always yakking about food, of course, what we're gonna have to eat, and I think that's what he said. And I thought he said something else, and I just kind of went with it. And that was the start of it, and it just kind of went.
Interesting. I love that.
What was Paul McCartney said about yesterday? Scrambled eggs. He fell asleep, and scrambled eggs was in his head, and that's just the beginning of yesterday. I guess it kind of relates.
We're basically Paul McCartney.
Basically,
That's what I heard.
We're on our way.
Yeah,
The Beatles.
The hell with Nickelback. These are the next Beatles.
yeah.
So you wrote the song, and then you made a video to accompany it. So I wasn't sure, like, because obviously there's Johnny, and then there's this man, and then I'm guessing that the man in the video is portraying Johnny's father. In this case, Paul, it's yours.
Well, the guy in the video is actually John's dad.
Okay, that makes sense because they do look similar. I was like, is this like?
He's a doppelganger. It was a doppelganger we found.
Yeah.
He was living on this.
Dumb luck.
I thought maybe there was some CGI or something going on.
No,
AI
My
is
dad
the thing now?
actually, he came back from 1984 to protect a woman named Sarah. Never mind. I'm sorry.
I understand.
About Don Connor.
I understand.
Yeah. Oh, I think logistically, really, Johnny and his dad made sense because Johnny's the vocalist. So
Right.
Johnny's already singing it. It's easy to make him the subject, and his dad was just open to doing it. So it really worked out.
If
It was originally taught.
if we're being honest, we really have no budget and we couldn't find any other actors. So
Yeah, there was talk of getting kids involved and trying to cast somebody, and we're like, there's no way this will get held up way too much if we start looking for kids to play young Johnny and
Yeah.
try to cast somebody to play his dad.
You're like trying to find a young ape in the wilderness, running around.
Yeah.
Which is cheap.
But yeah, I almost cried.
Big Daddy
Almost.
Butch didn't even ask for anything. So I mean, there's probably gonna be a steak dinner in his
You gotta give him the credits at the end, right?
What was that?
Oh, yeah.
You gotta give him credits at the end.
Oh, definitely.
But I thought maybe you have more to talk about with the video. I really did. I mean, it was very well done, and again, it was a tearjerker for sure.
The second part was the second part, like when because we did the part of all of us playing and stuff, and then a couple weeks later is when we did the stuff filming, where it was just me and my dad doing the one-on-one scenes.
The holding.
Can you guys still hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that for me, that was a little it sounds weird, but it was like harder for me to do that than like playing with 4-5 other hot guys in a room.
Pretty hard, but
yeah,
not emotionally.
and it's not because like I have a great relationship with my dad. It's not like he beats me over the head with a cane or anything.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. So
yeah, we kind of stuck Johnny out on he was when we were discussing all this, he was actually not available, and he kind of threw the short straw, and then it really worked out for the best because we were able to get his dad to do it, and it all made sense. It all makes a lot more sense now, with having him do it and Johnny do it, and Johnny killed it. I give you a lot of credit, man. I hate
Definitely
being on camera. I hate being I hate pictures, so I know how that is, and he really I was there when he did it. He really put the time in, and put aside all his fear, which is it was there. I know, I'm the same way, but he killed it. He did great. So the next one he could do it again. So
yeah, now you're screwed. Now you're gonna be the guy every time.
He's got to be the guy now.
And I
guy, pal.
I think too, if I was still drinking alcohol like I normally would be in the past, doing any kind of stuff, anything music related, band related, whatever, if I was still doing that would have, because a big reason of why I did that was to sort of take the edge off, which includes being sort of afraid or whatever you want to call it, I don't know, of pictures, cameras, and all that stuff. So it's like when you actually have to do it without any of that stuff, it sort of like forces you to go in that direction, if that makes sense, and it's like, it's a little awkward for I'm still kind of getting used to that, but it's a good feeling, if that makes sense.
So you have a serious issue in front of the camera?
Even performing, as weird as that sounds, and I play out sometimes 4 or 5 times a week.
I was gonna say how does this work? Because you're in front of crowds all the time.
Yeah, I know. It's just I don't know. It's weird. I think once I'm doing it and I'm I get kind of over it, but it's just, I think that initial kind of build up into beforehand,
Well, there's nothing to hide behind either,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You're playing live and you mess up, you could laugh it off and step away. Something like this, you're on display. Even miming all the instruments, I felt very similar, So you definitely feel like there's a spotlight on you, and you think about every little thing you do. And
yeah. That's probably a fair thing for as a musician, because you guys know exactly that does that if I did that motion, that wouldn't make that sound. Me looking at it, watching it, is yeah, okay, cool. I don't know that, but as a musician, you would know that.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just hard when you're not. I mean, fortunately for me, I'm actually playing the drums, so pretty much I can get animated because I fully feel and kind of hear what I'm actually doing as if I'm actually doing it live. Whereas miming guitars. Yeah, like you're not like in the real moment with the real sound. So like trying to get it to make it look like you're like being authentic or like really like what you'd actually be doing when you're actually on stage has got to be so weird. And that's what the only thing in your head the whole time. Like it's so like yes.
And then
I give you guys credit.
And then on top of that, right, like before we started, you know, I know Sarah said to me, I don't know if she said it to you guys, she's like, don't like overact. Like if you think you're doing enough, do 10% more. Because, you know, if you're locked in or whatever and you have your head down, you know, I had my head down through almost the whole video because I was trying so hard to focus on making it look like I was playing my part that I forgot to like kind of be in the moment. And then, you know, a take or two later, you're not even thinking about it and you're just, you're overacting and, you know, pretending like you're playing at Wembley Stadium or something.
It's funny you say that because I was, and Marty, you'll know who this is. I was in a Don't Panic video last year.
Yeah.
And it was very weird. And they said the same thing, like overdo it, like be so animated, like, and it felt so weird. But like,
video's phenomenal, by the way.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Johnny, I did not know that at all.
Ted asked Tot and I to be a part of it. I think we were away that weekend, so we missed out on the house party.
I wish you were.
That's cool.
It was a long day, but it was like it turned out so good.
Oh, it looks phenomenal. Yeah.
Is this the first video for you guys? Like as this band?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if you had something else, like a lyric video or some kind of other video for the other songs or not.
No, I mean, I think so. I mean, correct me if you guys feel differently, but I think this kind of came to fruition because I think after we recorded our music, you know, the first 3 or 4 songs or whatever, and started playing them out, and people started hearing them, and we were getting feedback. I think there was kind of a moment where we were like, oh shit, like, you know, we were doing it for us, and you know, we were all getting together because we wanted to jam, and you know, everybody had all these ideas, but then it was like, you know, we could actually, this could be something really phenomenal if we, you know, if we give it kind of everything we have and really commit to it. And I think that's kind of where we started to have the discussion of like, you know, we know we're passionate about the music side, but now there's this other side of marketing and having content with it, you know. So I think they kind of came hand in hand when, you know, when we realized that this could be really serious, that's when we started looking into this stuff. So it's kind of our real first step into being professional about this, I guess.
Before I said earlier, like I feel like this is a different, not a different version, but, and it kind of goes into what you just said. It feels just a little different. And maybe what I've meant by that and felt by that was, yeah, the songs you put out are great so far, but like, yeah, you brought in Nyke, is it Nyke Van Wyk or Wyk?
Nyke Van Wyk.
Nyke Van Wyk. Okay, yes, I knew I screwed that up somehow. And I've known of him when Paulie, you had the song Additive. That's when I was first introduced to him. And that song is probably still to this day my favorite Panacea song.
That was Nyke's first thing he ever did in northeastern Pennsylvania.
Really?
Like the first thing that he was, when we were recording that record, we had that song, and Brett's like, well, I have Brett Alexander, of course, produced that Panacea record. And he said, I have this guy who plays violin. Would you be interested in, you know, just giving it a shot and seeing what happens? There wasn't like he's definitely doing it. And we're like, yeah, let's try it out. And they actually did it to get him and Nyke did it on their own. Like we weren't even there. And he was just like, it just works out with the schedules. You know, he plays a lot, so he's gonna come up and record this. And he sent us the just like the basics. And I'm like, what's going on here? Like, this is really, what is this nonsense? And I just remember, I was like, man, the song was cool. And it just took it to the next level.
Yeah,
wow, impressive.
I will never forget hearing that song, and it blew me away. And I remember when you guys had your CD release party, I think that was at Nightcaps when I saw it live, and he was there for it.
Peppers.
It was just, well, maybe it's a different show because you played Nightcaps too.
Yes, sir.
With him. Mm-hmm. It wasn't Peppers that I saw. Maybe it was. I forget. Maybe you're right. Maybe I don't remember what I'm talking about.
You were there.
At Peppers?
Yeah. I know you were there.
Well, I specifically remember Nightcaps because I remember Freddie was there too. I think, or maybe it was a different guy. I forget. But I remember Nyke Caps vividly, and he was there at that show too. I think, right?
It's
It
very
doesn't
possible.
matter.
He
It
played a
doesn't
bunch-
matter.
He played a bunch of shows.
All I remember is that song was amazing, and Nyke just fucking took it to the next level. And
Yeah.
so I kind of had that vibe too with this song.
Well, I think the three of us had a very similar feeling to what, Panacea probably felt back then, because we waited something like 3 or 4 months from when we recorded our parts to when Nyke's were finished. Like it took a while because he's so busy and, to get that schedule worked out. So there was like 3 months where we were listening to mixes with no strings. And I remember getting that first mix with strings. I want to say it was around Christmas time. And it like I had chills listening to it. It was like a night and day difference. He added so much to the song. It was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And Paulie, did you bring him in for this specifically? Like, did you kind of have that vision?
As soon as the song was written and I sent the guys the first demo after they left practice, I already had it in my head that there was going to be strings on it. It just how it was going to be. That was it. I'm like, the song was going to need it. And right from the get go, I was, letting them know. I'm like, there's going to be strings on this song.
I think a lot of, I want to say local bands because it's not particular to, here in NEPA, but there's been a lot of that, just adding those little things that really kind of take songs to a different level. James Barrett has a song that off of his album with a trumpet. And I think also of a violin at some point with his stuff, but like you guys, and there's been other stuff as well, but it's cool to kind of hear and see like the, artists here kind of expanding the songs, I guess you could say.
Sometimes people are just afraid to take that chance. Like, oh, it's too different or it doesn't belong. Like it's all music. Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Much Hope Buried, Eric Navrosky's band. They have saxophone.
Yeah, saxophone.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know if they're considered like an emo band or whatever you want to call it, but there's like there's sax in it. I'm like, that's so cool. Yeah. Nobody would do that.
Those boys crazy.
And piano.
Yeah.
None of these bands have though.
What's that?
None of these bands have a fart pedal.
No.
You have a fart pedal?
I have a guitar pedal that farts. Yes.
And I paid money live?
For it. I've got it for Christmas. He hates it.
You're right. No one else has that. You're absolutely right.
He's in his own lane.
You guys can have your violins, okay?
Did you have you heard,
cup, Johnny?
Is that a kid's cup?
Is that your Finding Nemo?
It's a Smurfs cup. Is it a Smurfs cup?
Yeah, it's Burger King. Yeah, I think my kid has the same one. He's 5. Well, he's 6. He got it when he was 5.
I have 5 in my head.
Simple Jack.
You're talking about Eric. He produced an album by an artist called Sutliff. Have you heard his stuff?
I think so.
He had a song. It's called Chick Shinny that kind of blew up locally.
Oh, yeah.
They were talking about how they use different sounds in some of that and in their songs, and I think one was like, I'm probably gonna fuck this up, but like it was like just keys like dropping, like just weird stuff that Eric was like, let's try this. This is gonna sound cool, and it does. I don't think this area knows enough about Eric and Sarah and what they're doing over there.
It's true.
100%.
The amount of talent in those two individuals is just stupid.
Yep.
It's a great studio too.
And they're such good people. Like,
yeah, they are.
There's no like trade-off. Like they're extremely good at what they do and they're great people and they just got it, man.
Yeah. What's that like?
I don't know.
Having it all.
Yeah, if you find out, let us know.
Eric is a very easy man to please, by the way, because all he wants is like Burger King croissants with sausage, if I remember. That's all he eats.
That's right. I remember him saying that's what he wanted for his birthday. Like
It was really weird how he would not stop talking about those.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's in the room with us, it's kind of like when we talk about chicken wings. So I mean, it's kind of the same thing.
Mm.
Polly, when are we going for wings?
You say the day, buddy. I'll eat them 24/7.
I don't know what's good.
I might go for a stress test with you. I will.
Let's see how tomorrow goes, and then we'll go from there.
You'll be like, "Oh, I can't go for wings anymore." My wife said.
No, I'll do like my last meal.
Like the last, like you're gonna be fighting. What's your last meal? Chicken wings.
Yeah, chicken wings. Yeah.
It's hard living in northeastern Pennsylvania. It's like everybody says, "Oh, Buffalo." I've been to Buffalo a handful.
Nah, man.
Anchor Bar, nothing. Like they're good. It's cool. It's nostalgic, but we got some good stuff going on. Right?
NEPA wants you to eat not healthy.
Yeah.
Well, I think
It's so good.
Well, they say like all this processed food and shit like that, like it's like addicting, and I think there's something to that because I'm terrible. I can't stop.
Yeah.
Why do you think McDonald's is a multi-trillion-dollar company?
Yeah.
That's what the big man wants.
Big McDonald.
Who's the
Ron McDonald's.
where did that come from? Like it's like you just attach the word big to anything and then like
It's so funny, dude.
What did I see just the other day?
I love that.
It was big something like oh shit. It was just like 2 days ago I saw it. I mean, they just throw big to anything. And
Yeah. Like your allergies are bothering you. Like everybody's coming into work talking about allergies. It's like, dude, big air. They don't want us to breathe well, man.
Big pollen.
They're loading pollen.
Big pollen.
Big pollen.
I wish I could remember what it was. Shit. It was just so random. Like, wow, that's crazy.
Better get your memory checked too when you're at the doctor.
Yeah.
I used to have a great memory.
You need a cognitive test.
Thanks, Big Pharma.
Well, as long as Biden is around, I'm sharp as a tack compared to him.
You're doing okay.
And he's running the world, so
Right. He has the hardest job in the world.
he's got to be in bed by 8. He's probably sleeping right now.
I bet he doesn't have a Smurfs cup though.
I mean, if you were 120,
I bet he does.
What's that, Paul?
If you were 127 years old, you'd be in bed at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. I don't know what he's doing. I'm like, dude, just hang it up. Hang it up.
Dude, he's been asleep for 2 hours now.
Yes,
He's been asleep for,
Probably
he's been asleep
longer.
for 4 years now.
Listen. I voted for him, and it's like, what was I doing?
Yeah.
But he
I'm
also,
in that boat with you, buddy.
but he also wasn't where he is now 4 years ago.
No.
That's true. Yeah,
He
that's
could
very
read a
true.
lot better back then. My dad made a good point a few weeks ago. He's like, I don't know when we started referring to presidents by their names instead of the president, but it just makes sense for the last few. But
Right.
That's a
we just
very
call
good
them-
point.
We just call them by their names, not the president.
Well, I feel like we should. I feel like we shouldn't talk a lot about politics because we're recording on July 15th. This probably won't come out until July 26th. So a lot's going to happen between now
Very
and
true.
2 weeks from now. But I mean, we are living in a crazy, crazy world, and I would feel bad if we didn't talk about it. Like, I don't know what has happened to us as a society, and I'm thinking social media has made us all mentally ill in some way, some kind of
Oh,
form.
absolutely.
But
Yeah.
I was mentally ill before social media, so I'm not going to blame the social media.
well, I'm saying like people who weren't or people who were a little mentally ill, like it has been exacerbated by
Yeah.
social media. And I mean, we had someone try to assassinate a former president like 2 days ago. Like I see so many people on Facebook posting like they shouldn't have missed, or like the my
Wild,
favorite
dude.
one. This is still a human being. Like I don't
Yes.
care what.
And somebody did die.
Oh yeah, and someone did
Well,
that,
And
right?
two,
that's the
counting
other
the
thing.
person that
Well,
tried shooting
technically
him.
two, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I'm seeing like there's these posts on Facebook. People are like, I hope you're this concerned. When it happens to
Kids.
a third grader or whatever, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure we're outraged when it
Yeah,
happens
yeah.
to little kids. Like, is it worse for when it happens to children? 100%. Like that's terrible, but it's also terrible if anyone is murdered. And I just think it's
Dude.
crazy. Like, just
Yeah.
people
People are so
nuts.
engulfed in just being right on social media to where they're not even like even actually considering what it is that they're arguing and what they're what they're saying or claiming to be like this passionate about. It's like you're just passionate about wanting to be right on social. That's it. Where it's like, okay, maybe you do feel one way or the other, but it's like arguments aren't just, arguments or just kind of like, I think this is kind of right, or I think that's right. It is extreme this or that. And you have to go extreme this or that to be right. And it's like,
it's not dialogue.
It's so bad. People aren't thinking about what they're saying. And like, it is like the worst thing that has ever happened to.
It's very much
us.
In us versus them kind of climate nowadays.
And at the end
which is a shame.
At the end of the day, all of these people can give two shits about us.
Yeah.
All politicians, all these rich people do not care one bit. And everybody walks around like, whether you like one person or another person and think that they're benefiting you in some way, you got your head right up your ass.
There is also that entire side of it. Yeah.
There's that premise.
They're not doing anything for us. They're doing everything for themselves. They're all got each other's hands in each other's pockets. They're all investing with insider trading information. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And, major corporations are making mad profits off of screwing us, and they're letting them do it because they're making profits right along with it. I think once I got started, I see that table run. Look, right there.
Johnny, the floor is yours.
Sorry, to get on the Twitter.
No, I like when he gets all, angry and
he puts his face on his hand.
You could hear all about this in our song "Murder in a Small Town," by the way.
True.
If you want to go stream that.
Yeah.
Do that right now. Yeah.
Good plug, Martin. Very nice.
Yeah,
that
full
was
circle.
well done.
You get a raise.
Full circle.
Too much social media for you, guy. For this guy.
I can't get off social media because I keep buying guitars that I see pop up on Marketplace.
That's the way to go, though.
All right,
I complain about social media and then I stream myself playing video games all the time. However, that's wholesome. I'm just playing games and just like, if you want to just come hang out.
Naked.
But I do take advantage. There are things to take advantage of with social media, but overall,
100%,
grand scheme,
100%.
worst thing that's ever happened to humanity. Easily.
Paul and Johnny definitely don't see these. Popko, maybe you do, but Chad, do you get the what are their names? Jet and Pookie on Instagram.
That doesn't sound familiar.
They're like this like upper class white couple, like the dude's a lawyer and she was a flight attendant, and now they just travel the world and they buy extravagant things. But like he calls her Pookie and they just like kiss on camera and tell each other how much they love each other. And
he goes by Jet.
His real name's Jet. Yeah. He'll be like,
I hate this guy.
Pookie made dinner.
Like a baseball player. If he was a baseball player, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
Benny the Jet
Pookie.
Rodriguez.
Yeah. Pookie made the best spaghetti I've ever had tonight. I love you, babe. And then they kiss, and then she's like, I love you, babe.
But the problem is, and we're doing it. We're talking about them right now.
I know.
But the thing is, you start watching it ironically, but then Tom and I were sitting there watching a video the other day, and we're like, this is actually really like heartwarming that they love each other this much. And now I like it because it makes me happy.
Well, they love the money that they're getting from
and that
you've bought in.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've been brainwashed. You've been compromised. Marty's compromised.
I'll watch the NHL vlog. I don't care.
I go through this personal battle almost every day with social media because I've grown up my whole life a diehard sports fan. Pretty much almost any sport, if I'm not a huge fan, I can appreciate. And sports social media is a complete fucking joke. Like, there's not many more things that make me more angry than sports media at this point. It's making me hate a lot of professional sports because that's what it's all built on now. And like,
it's hot takes.
I hate that every day I'm like scrolling through Instagram, I'm seeing some just spewed out stupid like comment fishing posts from Sports Center about Bronny James or whatever. No discredit to Bronny James, but it's just like, there are huge things going on in sports, and we're sharing like Bronny James like uncontested layup and like making some kind of stupid just because they know people are going to comment on it.
Points. Yeah,
exactly.
What they want.
But they know people are going to
want.
comment, even if half the comments are hate comments saying like, "Why is this a post? Why is this post? I'm unfollowing. Why is this a post?" Like that's if you look at the comments and scroll you could scroll for 10 minutes and not see a single like good comment. But that's not what gets them paid. It's just comments get them paid, interactions, shares, or whatever. And like I get so mad because I'm like, this post is so stupid. I see what they're doing. I know what they're doing. But then like I catch myself sending it to my group chat and like saying something about it. I'm like, I'm part of it. It's so annoying. But it's like I want to unfollow all of these sports pages and stuff. But I'm like, I'm already so detached from like professional sports anymore that like, and it makes me sad because I loved them my whole life. But I'm like, I want to find like alternative like pages to follow because I don't watch TV a lot and I don't always watch everything that's happening live sports, but like that's where I keep up with it. But like what you get by just trying to keep up with it that way, like through Instagram or whatever, you're just seeing such nonsense all the time, dude. It's like LeBron James post, Tiger Woods post, Tom Brady post, like guys that are like half the guys don't even play. Like Tom Brady doesn't play and he's still relevant. Bronny James is like mostly everything, and he's like, I don't know. It's just it's so stupid. It is all just about whatever's going to get the most interaction, and not actually like cool things happening. But it's
well, I mean,
I hate it. I hate it so much,
dude. I'm on your side because even like there's like food pages and stuff and they'll like just take pictures of like a Burger King versus McDonald's. And if he's watched this and listened to this, I'm not making fun of him. I mean, but it's like, who you got, and it's like just a picture of each, and hundreds of comments, just people like McDonald's is better for X, Y, or Z, or fuck you, Burger King is the king of burgers, whatever the fuck. It's like this guy posted a picture of 2 trash burgers and is getting all this interaction.
A food enthusiast page.
Yeah, but like, and it's like, good for him. I mean, he figured it out.
But you know what? There's that side of social media too. That's a machine of literally intentionally creating like negative media in the sense of like the 5-minute crafts pages. If you ever see those, like where it's intentionally somebody doing something that is way more convoluted than the actual solution to a problem, and like that's the point of the video. Or like people intentionally making something that looks disgusting, or like destroying their countertops, like dumping maple syrup on their countertop, or like the mobile game ads where people like they intentionally don't win, like they're playing terribly in the ad so that you then get angry and download the game to play it better. Like it's a whole thing, man.
It's
like psychology to it.
Yeah, and I understand it, and like I can almost appreciate like that is a smart move, but like it's just the fact that that's like fully taken over, like like Sports Center, ESPN, like Bleacher Report. I think I unfollowed a while back, but like, and I want to unfollow all of them, but like I want to have some form of sports feed because that's where I see my stuff. So like there are alternatives, but like a lot of the alternatives even are like seeing like this is kind of what we have to do to grow our following. So like they're starting to buy into the whole purposely make a stupid something controversial on purpose, but make it seem like we're like genuine, just so we can piss everybody off and get people arguing in the comments, whatever. And it's like, can't you just like share like good stuff and like just actually show me cool things that are happening? Like, I don't need to see.
Well, that's like Stephen A. Smith and Colin Cowherd. Like they all say shit that they know I think is wrong, just to fucking get people.
Oh yeah,
just get fired up.
Yeah, man.
There's no way.
Who are you a big sports guy?
I follow basketball, baseball, football. I don't get into hockey, but I mean, for the most part, yeah. I mean, I work for a sports station too, so it's like I kind of have to be a little bit knowledgeable in it.
I have become the biggest Shannon Sharp fan in the last like year. Like mostly I like watching him on First Take. I don't watch First Take a lot because again, you're not getting a lot of really good sports coverage. You're kind of just getting more like, just polarizing like arguments and stuff. But Dude, his podcast and like his interviews that he conducts are so good, and he's just like real, and he's actually talks about stuff, and he's not trying to like say things to be like, to get people to interact and comment and share stuff. Like he's gonna get that just because of who he is and like and what he discusses and who he has. But I mean, yeah, his stuff is like actually genuine, and it's so hard to find that anymore, dude.
I'll have to check that out. I
Yeah,
haven't given it a
his
chance.
stuff's really good. He has his
Yeah,
podcast
yeah,
with
send
him
him-
and Chad Ochocinco, and
Send him our video.
dude, I would love that.
Yeah. So
But
how can we, like, because I'm poor at it too. Like, so obviously you guys are you're creating awesome things, great art, great music, all that kind of stuff, right? You're putting, you're scrapping together money. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that because Paul's getting paid buco bucks from the Panacea stream. So Paulie's
I made $78 last year.
Paulie is funneling all he's making sure that Portland Frank is running smoothly here.
that's like 30 wings.
That's $50 more than I made last year on streaming. So
Right. So but like, I can't even, like, whenever I get a new follower on Instagram, if I get 5 new followers, I lose 6. I don't know how this is happening. Trying to get followers on YouTube, forget it. And maybe I just don't have good content. That's probably what it is. But it's like we do it. I think it's genuine. We do it because we like it. We do it because we're passionate about it. But it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So what do we start doing? It takes.
I mean, I think what you do well, that we talked to Andrew from So Much Hope Buried and Send Request a little bit about this, and Tatiana said it too. Like the biggest thing is consistency. You constantly have to have something out, and that's kind of like you'll see like a lot of, especially like if you look at like music YouTubers, this is a huge thing of like, it's very similar to what we're doing, where you want to have long form, really meaningful content, but at the end of the day, people don't have the attention span for it, and it's like a 10-minute video or a 30-second clip does better than sharing a link to YouTube, know?
Yeah. And who has time to fucking do all these, like, you gotta do Instagram Reels and then fucking Facebook, whatever the fuck those are called.
It's a full-time job.
Then YouTube Shorts. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck? And of course, they can't all have the same fucking length requirements. You could do a minute and a half on Instagram, but only a minute on fucking Facebook. I don't even know what YouTube is. Why can't they make it all universal?
Well, and I'm even sure. So, like in the meta universe, of Instagram and Facebook, I even think they punish you. You don't see it. It's not like a violation, but your posts won't perform as well if you're using a platform to cross post instead of creating 2 original posts.
Right.
Or at least that's how it was before they kind of came up with the business suite, where if you had a linked Facebook, my Facebook post won't do as well if it's shared from Instagram as if I just made a Facebook post. So then you're copying, like what I do is copy and paste everything, then redo all the tags on Facebook, same picture, and it's just a pain, man.
So much easier before social media.
Say that again.
It was so much easier before social media.
Doing a fucking bandbox in the weekender, bro.
Life. It was so much easier.
Dropping off baskets of baked goods and cookies and fruits to your radio stations.
Yeah, I mean,
with the CD in it.
It's still the same kind of premise of like, you put your content out there, nobody listens to it, nobody plays it. There were many times, we had radio stations that wouldn't play it or wouldn't even give a listen to it. It's the same. It's just a different platform now.
It's a double-edged sword because I mean, there's obviously benefits of it. Like you need to be doing, and like Johnny, you could speak to this, I'm sure, from your own business, where you have a lot of success on TikTok and stuff like that. So there's benefits, and I mean, like, even I just saw Eric just did an ad for this app called Showcase. That's literally, for artists that maybe aren't having a hard time getting traction, but it's meant to kind of connect you to other artists trying to do this. And it's literally you go on every day and it shuffles music from artists that have submitted to the app. So it's you're not getting like Imagine Dragons in there. You're getting local artists, maybe with a similar fan base or following, or at least a similar size, So there's great stuff like that, but at the same time, like it's draining trying to keep up with it and constantly monitoring. Like
the more genuine you want to be, the harder it gets, and that's what people don't like.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't even know how. I mean, Marty and Chad, you are on the younger end of things compared to us old guys, but like, I don't even know what kids do anymore.
Me neither.
I don't either. I don't know.
The closest thing I do to being young, like as I was mentioning before, is like, well, I play a shit ton of video games. Like I might play more video games now than I did as a kid, and like I stream to just strangers, which is like a thing that a lot of young people do, and like a lot of like older generation can't really grasp, like, why would you even do that?
That's not helping the economy, Chad.
Yeah, no, it's not. I enjoy it. So, but
it's weird.
As far as what kids do, I don't really know, man. I think about that a lot. Like I think about I don't know, like
how do you reach?
See, when I was growing up, I used to go break stuff. So I mean, I don't know, like
yeah.
Me too.
And I'm not saying that that's a good idea for kids to do.
It's just one of those days.
Yeah, you just listen to a lot of Limp Bizkit.
Like a chainsaw. What?
Well, again, and this is like, especially now, like meme culture,
brain rot.
I mean, brain rot.
Skibidi toilet.
Somebody literally we talked about it before. Somebody trying to kill Donald Trump the other day. I saw more memes than I did genuine news articles about it, and like, at least from that aspect, it's like you can't even fathom that something is real because of how many jokes and stuff you see about it. But then from this side too, there's an advantage to capitalizing on whatever you want to call it, trend culture, meme culture, whatever, like TikTok is huge nowadays. If you could get especially for musicians, there's so many musicians that, become millionaires or, have 1,000 followers. Look at the kids in Burn the Jukebox that come up on my For You page every single day with 45,000 likes on their posts,
Thankfully, they are super good too.
They are.
It's not like they're just like, eh.
That's best case scenario.
They're pretty fucking good too.
A group of good kids that are working hard.
Right.
And they're seeing the benefits of being able to capitalize on
it.
Like even for Buck has got to be our best song, my unbiased opinion. But again, it's also our most meaningful. And there's even a part that it's like, I like, you're almost afraid that it's like, it's so genuine, but will people even resonate with that? Like, will you see that people resonate with that? Because that's not the environment that social media kind of, creates.
It requires too much attention.
Yeah.
Or they'll watch it to be like, okay, that was really well done, and I almost cried. Next.
Yeah.
It's keeping that attention. Like,
that's the thing. That's the problem. You have the video, but then what comes after? Like, there's always that thought of like, what are we doing after this? What's the next thing?
I feel like you're only as good as your next thing.
Yeah, and if you're not constantly thinking about that nowadays, it seems like you're just never going to be able to compete.
So what's next for Portland Frank? You're gonna drop the song when this comes out. The song will be out. The video will be out. Like, have you guys played a show this year yet?
Played a bunch of shows this year.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, hey, listen. Whoa. I'm just asking.
Bro.
Back off, bro.
I thought you paid attention to my TikTok feed, bro.
Listen, I pay as much attention to your shows as you pay attention to whether or not I still do this podcast.
I knew that you were going to say that. How did I know?
Yeah.
You know what? As I sent that message, I didn't really mean it like that because I know you were still doing it. I just didn't know how often you were doing it because you got your new gig and that. I should have been more clear, but I smoke a lot of dope, so it just comes out as it comes out. And
Yeah.
You still doing that podcast? Let me read the text from Polly. Hey, bro, are you still doing that shitty podcast?
I don't think it's a shitty podcast.
It did.
It might.
I would believe if it did. He didn't mean it, but I believe he'd say it.
It didn't. But yeah.
Yeah. He he texts us every morning and calls us lappers, which I still don't know what it means, but it just sounds degrading. And that's
It
the
definitely is.
That's just because
first
it
text
is.
I get every morning.
It has to be degrading, right?
Sup ladies, sup lappers. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Even when I
I'm glad
don't
that-
respond, I do love that.
I thought the old generation still harasses the younger generation.
Oh, they do. That's all he does.
Bro, you're the problem, Paulie. You're the fucking problem. This is why there's kids out there trying to shoot ex-presidents. They get bullied.
They
Getting
feel
called a
isolated.
lapper every day.
Why you got to put that on me, man? I mean,
Dude,
Well, yeah.
so there's definitely like a correlation to that. Now, see, I come from I think getting a little bit, like maybe an elbow in the hallway isn't a bad thing. I remember when I was a freshman in high school, there's this kid. Can't remember I think it was Chris Matzel was his name. I think it was Chris. I know his last name was Matzel. And I didn't have to take gym class because I was in sports. So if you were in sports, you didn't have to participate in gym because like you don't want to get hurt or whatever. So he would make me give him my shoes because he would always come to school with fucking sandals on. And you couldn't do gym with sandals, so he would make me give him my shoes. That was probably the most bullying that I got because obviously I didn't want to give him like this kid's fucking sweating around in my fucking shoes and I gotta put him back on. That sucks. But I'll take that compared to what like real bullying is. But there's this kid in high school. He was bullied all the time, like not so much physically, but mentally and verbally and shit like that. And then he was one of those kids or people that were involved. I don't know if you saw it in Wilkes-Barre. They found the remnants of a body that was buried in a basement.
yeah.
I remember
He was like involved in that, and it's like I remember seeing his like mugshot in the newspaper, and I was like, same face. He had this like these sad like eyebrows, like, and I'll never forget it. But he would be fun up on the bus, like he thought he was a Power Ranger, and like every kid thought they were like a Power Ranger or a Ninja Turtle, but like he was like in junior high school, running around as a Power Ranger. But kids made fun of him. They picked on him. I always felt bad.
That's awful.
I was on the bus with him. It was always the same bus, and I was always like, "Man, that sucks." But I was like, "I'm just glad it's not me." And I feel bad even think about that now because you look back and it's like definitely a lot has played into like his upbringing and I don't know his like his home life and shit like that. But yeah, it was just what I'm getting at is there's definitely like a correlation between being bullied and picked on, and then how you react to that. So I was like, if my kid ever got bullied, I'd be fucking real pissed. But
Put an end to it, or make sure they're capable of putting an end to it.
Yeah, I don't know how you. I hope I never have to deal with that.
Yeah, it's tough because now it's gotten to a point where 95% of it's happening on social media,
Right?
where like how a kid really can't defend himself. Not that it's like it used to be, where like a kid goes to school, he's getting bullied, he finally musters up the courage to just pop somebody in the face, and like now it's gonna be that kid who he punched, parents are gonna make a huge thing out, like it's whatever. Back then it was that was a little bit more likely to happen, and not many big repercussions would come from it, other than that kid would just probably stop getting bullied, at least to the extent that he was. Now it's like all of it's happening on social media. What the fuck can you actually do? Where like it's just all, and that's and like people, especially younger generation, like live on social media, like especially if they go to school and they're not really like talking to people, where like not a lot of their like stuff they have going on revolves around that. It revolves around them at home on their phone, and that's all you're seeing. And that's just like, I can't imagine how much more like emotionally damaging that is than going to school and have kids ragging on you, as awful as that is. And some kids don't ever muster up that courage to do something like that, and then they never, like, years down the line they fly off the handle and do something crazy. But like now it's like when it's just on social media, which is also like, it's one thing to have just something said to you or done to you or whatever, like that's like a one-off thing, where like social media, that just stays there, and then people can read that, and then people can come back and read that days later, and people like it's immortalized basically.
Yeah.
So it's like even worse to just have that stuff out there. Like I can't imagine how awful that is. And like I remember when we were in high school, Marty, I don't know if you remember or ever heard of an app called Burn Book.
I was literally
that?
about to say, did you have Burn Book at your high school?
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Paul, Johnny, and John, have you guys ever heard of this?
I've heard it from Mean Girls.
Okay, so
and Ask
so,
FM.
Yeah, so Burn Book was an app that came out like I wouldn't say at the peak of social media because it is and continues to be at its peak, but like
it was when in ninth grade.
It was when social media was like just like
Facebook
hitting
kind of took
basically
off.
Yeah, like it was basically just like hitting the young generation and becoming what it is now, where like everybody, all the kids were all basically transitioning from living their lives in person the way we should to just social media. And then this app comes out called Burn Book, which is literally a fully anonymous app where I don't actually never had it, and I don't even think I ever really saw it with my own eyes, so I don't know how it works, but all I understand is that it was a fully anonymous app where people would just share horrible, like unknown things or just say terrible things about people in your school, and nobody would know who it came from. And then you just go to school the next day and you live life with that information now known by everybody. And it was fucking terrible. Wild.
It was like a whole like epidemic at my school.
Like, we had assemblies. Yes.
Because it was literally, I mean, even like I don't ever remember seeing anything about myself, but I remember having the app and just every day opening it, seeing like what's going to be on there.
Yeah, because so and so has this, or so and so's parents do this. And I'm like, dude,
things like people would say terrible things about each other, and like fully anonymous, you know. But everybody in the school has it, you know, because they're waiting to see what's going to be said next, or they're saying stuff about other people.
Yeah,
it's just crazy, man. Like it sucks.
Write things on the bathroom wall.
Yeah.
Johnny Popko sucks Mr. Smith's asshole or something like that. And then just put on the bathroom wall, you know. But the thing about like my guy's 17 years old and it never leaves them. They come home with it and they got to deal with it at home too. Like back in the day, somebody was bothering you, either step up or whatever, and you get your ass kicked, and they're your friends after that. They're like, oh, at least you stood up to me. Now it follows you home, and it's like it's there 24/7. That's the real issue, not.
I found it best to just lie down and play dead, just like Brick.
like a bear's grab.
Yeah. It's just that there's no escape now. So like,
I can't get away.
It just it goes to a whole new level, and it's like there's no just telling a kid like, hey man, don't let it bother you.
I know,
because when that's the only thing you have going on, like
that's all you see that day.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't know what you do.
It's even like weird as a parent because you'll see other parents like doing a million things with their kids. And you're like, am I doing enough with my kids? Like, am I taking my kids to enough places on the weekends? Like,
if you're asking that question, yes.
But yeah, it's just nuts. Like, I'm busier with my kids now than I ever was like as a kid. Like growing up, I remember I would go to, I think a Red Barons game once a year, maybe with the baseball team, but like very rare, maybe once every 2-3 years. Knoebels was once a year. I think my kid's been to Knoebels more times in his life as a 6-year-old kid than I have been in my entire life. Like, it's just nuts.
I definitely, as a kid, thought Knoebels was further away than it was, because that was like a big trip. Like, hey, we're going to Knoebels for the day. I was like, oh my god. And then I got older, and I was like, I could literally just drive there today,
and it's free to get in.
And it's free to get in. Literally nobody could tell me no. Like, I could just go today. I could just go.
But then you will also start to, because I feel like I kind of am, but you will also start to approach that age again where you're like, that's really far away.
Yeah.
It is like, I just drove. I only say that because I just drove by. I don't remember where I was going or what for, but I just drove by that direction where I'm like, oh, that's where Knoebels is. And I was like, oh, that's kind of out here. But
hey, man, I mean, I DoorDash from a Dunkin' less than a mile away from me every Saturday. So, it's.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's so crazy.
I try to make a point to get up and go, but there's some mornings I definitely just
not happening, dude.
I just throw it on.
Marty, real quick. I'm tired of your lowball shitty tips. Okay, Martin. Could you, start tipping me some real money for once?
On that,
hidden in your coffee.
Yeah. Are you the guy that keeps ringing the doorbell even though I put "please leave" on the porch?
Yes.
You drive my dogs crazy, dude.
I want more money.
Start leaving a $5 on the mailbox.
He wants you to see the smile on his face as he brings it to you.
Have you ever had a DoorDasher take a picture of you yet?
DoorDashers don't
Not knowingly.
Actually, the Pizza Hut guy doesn't like coming to my house because of my dog. Because the one day we went down there, he scared the shit out of me.
Mace?
No. Yeah, Mace. Can't see where he's going. No, big guy. He just barked, and the guy dropped the pizza and took off. Then when we call for pizza, they're like, "Oh, your house with big dog. We not deliver there."
Where are you ordering pizza from?
Pizza Hut.
Why do they sound like that?
Listen, do you know who owns the Pizza Huts now?
No.
Same guys that own the 7-Eleven, bro.
Okay.
Check it out sometime. Make a call. You'll see. They make delicious pizza. I can't deny it.
Pizza Hut or Domino's?
Pizza Hut.
Oh, I see. I was just gonna say on that note, Pizza Hut way better than Domino's, and I wish Pizza Hut was more popular. Dude, every item, desserts or meals, every item on Domino's menu tastes exactly the fucking same, dude.
Yeah, salt
it just has more or less red sauce on it, or on the side. That's all it is.
You know what? The lava cakes do kind of taste garlicky.
At this point, yeah, dude.
But I'll eat 3 of them.
I wish the roles were switched. I wish Pizza Hut was where Domino's is.
Yeah.
Just shame.
I don't think I've had Pizza Hut since they came back.
Nobody out pizzas the Hut, bro.
They're still doing fine, I think. I just feel like Domino's are every 2,000 feet, and Pizza Huts, I feel like they're every few towns you might have one, or at least around here.
Well, Domino's has everything on lock. Their app, you can see when they get it.
It's a tracker.
When it goes into the oven, the
Like
whole process. Plus, they're fast. I was in Boston. The kids there's guys living on bikes. It's we ordered it, and 2 minutes later, the we're getting an alert that it's the lobby.
I'm also just sour toward Domino's because of what it's done to me the last 2 or 3 times I've eaten it.
What has it done?
You want good detail or like color, texture,
wise, or
temperature?
Stop my
Because
guys.
you could probably imagine.
Physically, it has done to you?
Physically, yeah. Shortly after, and most food, anything doesn't really bother me. I have a tough ass stomach, but Domino's and Denny's, those are the only 2. And Sheetz is sometimes
the D gets you.
Yeah, that D just messes up my guts.
Big pizza.
Big
what?
Yeah.
What I hate.
Big convenience just doesn't like me.
Big Denny's.
Big sausage pizza.
Big convenience. Gotta stop it.
Want me to die?
I hate when restaurants don't have the ability to order online. I have no problem going to pick it up. But the last thing I want to do is call your restaurant or bar or whatever it might be and have to yell over the phone. It always happens.
It's hard, Grandpa, isn't it?
Well, no, because you're hey, I want to get hello, are you there? Are you there? It's yeah, I'm here. Can I take an order? What do you want? Takeout? Yes, takeout. And it's can I get 1 large pizza? Say that again. It's really loud here. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn. Get off my lawn.
Dude, I want to take out from a place that's down the road from me. I won't even give a name, but it sounded like it was 11 o'clock on a Saturday night, party. And I got there and there was like 4 people there, and the music is just fucking blasting.
Okay, I was gonna say, I think it's a soundboard. I think they just do that because I know if I hang up the phone and drive there, they're just gonna be like standing there looking at their phone behind the register.
No, there was like nobody there, but the fucking music was just blasting. I'm like, what the fuck? So I went there, ordered, and then stood there and waited for it to get done. I'm like, I could have just had it ready to go, but
yeah,
I hung up the phone. I'm like, I'm not gonna yell across the phone to the people.
All this said, I haven't had Domino's in forever, and I would eat it if presented.
Paul, send him a Domino's order to his house right now.
I don't have any money. I bought too many guitars this week, so kind of tapped out. I had a turkey sandwich on low-calorie bread tonight. That's how bad things are getting.
The 647 or whatever.
Dude, I have one drum kit and one set of cymbals.
It's different, man. It's different.
Guitars are different. I'm glad
having both worlds. It's
I'm glad that I play drums, but also like I don't know. Oh, I don't really have the space to have many more drum kits, but I feel like even if or when I do, I don't know. I feel like that extra money that I would be spending on that goes. I don't know. I use it towards something else. Guitars, I think, are different. Because you can just like easily pick up a different guitar. Well, no, I think you can just like easily pick up and play this guitar and then set that one down and play this one. Or like you can buy one and then you can like play it. Whereas like you buy a new drum kit, it's like, okay, where am I going to set it up? Oh, I have that one set up. So I have to tear that one down and then set this one up. And then I also had to buy heads for it. And I also have to find time to play it that I'm not being an asshole. And like, I don't know. I feel like drums are just, I'm lucky that you're not really as susceptible to buy. But I do know people that do have like a shit ton of like snares at least, or just like a bunch of kits or cymbals or whatever. I'm very bare bones with my stuff.
Well, consider yourself lucky.
Yeah, until something breaks and I don't have another one.
Domino's pizzas. But I insulted you guys and questioned your show playing ability and how many times you played out this year. So I'm glad you're still playing and that you've played shows this year.
Thanks, man.
We're glad you're
what's coming up?
A shitty podcast too.
Yeah, I know. What's coming up? I'm gonna release this shitty episode in a couple weeks.
A show on Sunday that Marty just reminded me about.
It'll be over by then.
Yeah, by the time this will have come out, we will have played probably 2 more times, and it won't be worth talking about.
Yeah,
got a bunch of stuff going on in August. Some local stuff. I can't remember off the top of my head.
So are we just going to release a song and let it kind of go out into the universe and see what happens, or what are we thinking here? Because this is different. It's a different song.
What do you want? What do you want us to do?
I'm curious.
What do you think?
I don't know.
It's kind of like when I'm at rehearsal and we go over something. I'm like, "What do you guys think?" And everybody just stares at me.
I don't know.
I guess
you're the brain.
Okay, I guess I'll just do this the way I want to.
I just show up, man.
Do we have more music lined up, or what are we doing? Like
you're like Krang from the Ninja Turtles, you know, like Krang.
Better lay off the Cray, Tom.
Love it though.
I know you do. You're looking handsome. You're looking very handsome tonight. That's all.
Thank you.
We have been on hiatus is not the right word, but we haven't gotten together in a little while because all of our lives have been a little hectic. So we were at a point where we had a lot of good shit written, that's probably ready to go, start getting recorded. So there's stuff in the pipeline. It's just
that's what I want to hear. That's what I want. I want this new song to come out, it be well received, and then know there's more on the way. Because I don't like that. That's why I thought I'm like, maybe they haven't played a show this year. Maybe they've been busy.
If somebody
got
with
back from vacation,
if somebody with a big duffel bag of money comes up to us, we'll be right back at it again.
Well, don't you have that
for the right
pallet money?
opportunity.
Aren't you like
We have the
filling up
OF money.
pallets?
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
There goes the big pallet.
Johnny also,
Big pallet.
has an addiction to buying bass amps too. So every time I get a message from him, it's like, "Hey, I just picked this up," and it's like, "Well, dude, you got like 9 bass amps now in a week."
I do.
Johnny also has like 17 fart pedals.
Yeah. They ain't cheap.
I want to hear this.
They are
part,
not
Paul.
cheap. Hook
And
it
I-
up, Johnny,
So Johnny's gonna.
It sounds
Go
like
direct
exactly
into
what
the
you think it would
computer.
sound.
or your phone. Direct into your phone.
Johnny will be receiving divorce papers in the mail very soon due to this hard
I'm getting served.
I can't talk about it all, but there is a storage facility which I rent that has additional pedals.
And a cot, just in
And a cot.
case.
and a cot just in case.
He has a pedal unit,
He has a second home.
a fart pedal unit.
He has a second home just when the big divorce comes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna live in the storage unit. I've
Thanks,
heard
big
about
divorce.
people living in storage units before.
Yeah.
And then they like get busted because that's like not legal.
It's not legal. Yeah. No, but I mean, we've been playing newly written music that is not recorded yet out.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
There's stuff ready to go. It's really just a matter of, getting everybody kind of back on the same schedule, being able to get together again and kind of get it taken care of. I'd say at this point, it's never gonna, in the time that we have stopped playing, Paul has probably harassed us about 10 new ideas.
yeah. He's probably written 3
Thankfully,
albums.
we have a machine here that's not ever going to stop, and we just have to keep showing up and bringing it to life. So
Yeah, the last episode, Paul had revealed that he's the writer of a lot of this stuff.
The head honch. Yeah.
I didn't reveal it actually. Chad revealed it. So
Oh, did he?
yeah,
Did I?
that's accurate.
Well, if I don't, Paul will. So
Paul is
he'll tell you.
Paul is a very, at least compared to myself, a very, very good lyricist. That's something I've always struggled with.
Yeah.
That Paul is very, always kind of, it seems always genuine about, and not, just not afraid to say it, when it comes to subject matter and stuff like that. Buck is a prime example of, not wearing your heart on your sleeve, but just being genuine to what you're feeling. I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with, writing is, you want to write music that connects to people, but that's also personal to you. And there's a line between not being too specific and, it's still being meaningful to you. And that's, I don't do that well. I really don't.
It's
do
hard.
That well.
It's
I
super
try
hard to do.
blur the lines, I'm not good at letting all that out. Paul very much is. And
I struggle with it a lot.
oh, okay. Never
Well, you
mind.
do it well.
I'm
You're like Johnny, who can't. He gets nervous about being on stage, but goes on stage.
Do you remember the Mohegan Sun Panacea reunion thing we kind of did? Johnny actually played with us. You were there, Mr.
That was like almost like what 4 years, almost to the date.
So that was
I got slated for the role of drummer.
that was the first big show I played not high as fuck on pills ever in my life. And I was scared shitless to play it. Granted, I was prepared. I mean, Johnny knows. I put the hammer down on everybody. We were ready to go. And
Believe that.
as soon as the first note, I was like, oh shit. Oh boy, here we are, and everything looks so much different. And just had to go with it. So
That's a song right there.
True.
hold on, I got my pen here.
So you guys, you old guys, Paulie and Johnny, like you guys kind of mentioned, Johnny, you said you kind of masked performances with alcohol or whatever, and Paulie, you just kind of said that it was the first show you played not high on pills. Like, what kind of brought that about? Is it just getting old and figuring out like, you're not going to live forever and kind of get on the straight and narrow, or what happened?
Paul, do you want to answer? Or?
Yeah, I'm honestly, I should be dead. I should be dead with the amount of things I was doing. And I guess I just kind of got scared straight. You dump enough hot soup on yourself, passing out at home, having dinner with your family, then you realize like, I better do something different. And at the time, Pennsylvania, because we suck, took so long to get medical marijuana into the mainstream. When I finally got it in my head, like I need to do something different. I'm like, well, I should try this because it's a plant. It grows on the earth. This other stuff they're giving me is, high test heroin, basically.
Yeah, manufactured.
And it was an eye opener. It took me about 6 or 8 months of just cold turkey. Like I just stopped. I'm like, I'm done. I'm fed up. Anybody who knows me knows when I make my mind up and I'm decisive about something, I just do it. And I don't give a shit what the outcome is. I'm just going to do it. And that's it. And at that point I was like, well, I really don't want to die yet. I know I'm going to die eventually, but I don't want to die right now. I don't want to die at 30 some years old from this. I had a lot to look forward to. I got the kid to watch grow up and, different things in life. And it was just time. It was just really time. And over that time, like I didn't really write any music from the time, like there was a short time after Panacea stopped playing to now that I didn't really do any writing. It was just kind of like, well, I really didn't want to get involved in it. I just kind of just backed off a lot because that was part of the reason why, I did a lot of it. It was, a lot of the things we did and played a lot, and you had to keep moving, and your back hurts. It's not going to stop. Like the show's not going to stop. You got to keep going. And 2 leads to 4, 4 leads to 8, 8 leads to 10, and then 10 leads to 15 pills a night, and then drink a whole bunch of booze with it too. So yeah, it just got to the point where it's like, I got to stop this. And Johnny kind of saw a little bit of it back in the day. I mean, we were both off the chain. We both did stupid shit together. We drank a lot of $2 martinis together. So it
ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with it if you don't spend $200 worth. So there was no like, oh, I could just have a drink and that's it, or I could just take this and be done.
Yeah.
Like I could have 47 of them, and 47 is good. Then 48 is amazing. So, I mean, that's my self-help speech for the day.
I don't think I knew it. I don't think I knew any of that.
Don't do drugs, kids. They're no good for you.
But these were prescribed drugs.
Excuse me?
But these were prescribed drugs.
Yeah, they're prescribed, but you get to a point that it's
I'm not saying it's okay, yeah, because you're right.
They don't give you enough.
Right.
Then you go use your own vices to get more.
Right.
And you're still getting your prescribed whatever it is, and you're still adding on top of it. And then you find other things that you could add on top of that too that enhance the whole thing. And it just spirals out of control very, very quickly. And honest to God, I should be dead. Should be in the ground. And I'm happy I'm not. And yeah, that's my self-help awareness for today.
I'm happy too.
Public service announcement.
Damn.
Like I look back at obviously Panacea was a big part of my life, and a lot of things that were done were pretty special, and I miss them because I didn't know what was going on. Like I was there, I played the shows, I could remember the show. I didn't suck it in though. Like I didn't get to be like, oh man, we did a lot of cool stuff. Mm-hmm. A lot of cool things that any musician would die to do. I mean, we didn't get a national deal. We didn't go on a world tour. Any musician that's starting out or has been in the game a while would die to do anything that we did. They would I know I would, if I was in another person's shoes and saw this going on with these guys, I'd be like, man, I want that. And kind of missed out on a lot. I missed out on like enjoying the moment. That ties into doing all this hard work and all the like now social media. You put all this time in the social media and do all this stuff. But back then you had to go do the work. Like you had to go play all these shows. I mean, a lot. We played a lot. Mm-hmm. And a lot of promotion and a lot of money. I mean, each one of our records was like $10,000 or $15,000 to do. And we did that by taking the money that we earned from playing. We didn't have, you GoFundMe and, send me money. We went out and worked for it. I mean, and I know that's a thing now, and everybody's like, send me GoFundMe, and everybody will send you $5 or whatever. I get it. It's just another outlet of, getting to where you want to go. And you could offer them things like, oh, I'll send you a signed record or this and that. But we were, mud and mortar. We went out and did the work, and there's a lot of stuff that I kind of regret not being more in the moment at the time, instead of being like, well, I'm high as hell and I got to do this. So it's just, that's my regret is, I missed a lot. I was there, but I still missed it.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys did a lot of cool stuff. I was there for some of it. We took bus trips down to Philly and shit.
And like I always tell these guys, Buck is a prime example of like a song that's just really good and it's well done. And we took a chance with putting all these string arrangement on it. And if somebody remembers it 10 years from now, one person, I'm happy. I'm like more than happy. If nobody remembers it, then fine. That's okay. But people still talk about Additive like you did.
Yeah.
Or We the Broken, or this song or that song. And it's almost, we're going on
15 years, probably,
next year Anodyne will be 20 years old.
Wow.
Damn, dude.
First Panacea record. And people still talk about those, and it blows my mind, because I would never thought that people would talk about it now. Because they're still still bring it up, like, oh, you were in Panacea, I love that song, blah blah blah. And I'm like, wow, you actually remember that? Or if you're in Berwick or in Bloomsburg, where we were based a lot, and you're at a mini mart, people still drive by in a car and it's blasted. I'm like, damn,
yeah,
that's pretty neat. That's pretty cool. Like,
I mean, I remember we did that. We rode with you guys to Corkscrews.
Yep.
Me and T. Stein.
The ficus.
Yeah. And there was we were waiting in the weekender office. There was a chair, and it had like from our me and Damien had a costume for our Halloween costume party, and it was like a blue whatever the hell, and you sat in it waiting for the bus or whatever.
It sounds accurate.
Yeah, not a great story, but yeah.
Do you have time to tell us again, please?
No time.
We got lots.
But no, Panacea was awesome.
It was a good time. And I mean, I just had done a radio show with Alan Stout last week, where he kind of took me on a trip down memory lane, which Alan is very good at, because he remembers everything. And I actually went home and I had to send him one of our songs that he didn't have, one of a Panacea song that didn't have, which I had to dig through like folders to find. And I was trying to ask Marty, how do you get these back on your iTunes music? Like I'm an idiot. And I finally, like, he's like, dude, nobody does that anymore. Stop it. Nobody does that. You got to get Apple Music. Send me the link to Apple Music. I'm like, I don't want Apple Music. I have this stuff right here. I made it. I want to put it on my phone. So I finally figured it out. I'm sent Alan the song, and I'm like, oh, I'll put this on. I haven't listened to it in a long time. Man, that was cool. Man, that was good. And just like, take a walk down memory lane of all the things that we did and all the people that were involved and the other bands that were involved, and just met so many cool people. And that's what it's all about, really. The music and the people that you meet, and some of them are going to be lifelong friends. Some of them I'll never see again. Some of them I still talk to. People still message us, hey, you should do a reunion. You should do this. You should do that. You should do a lot of things.
I'll say, as someone who wasn't listening to Panacea when you guys were playing, obviously, but when I met Paul, Paul, I probably even knew you for like a year or two before I heard Panacea, because it wasn't until you guys put all your stuff on Spotify and Apple Music and everything, but then like when you guys did that show at Mohegan Sun, and Johnny played with you, and even because Johnny, I don't think you and I knew each other obviously, but we'd played out together maybe once or twice. Beyond that, I didn't know you that well.
I knew what high school you went to. I knew your own homeroom. I knew like what time you went to the bathroom.
He was the janitor at that school.
But
Yeah, but
Like
there,
But no,
Jenner and Billy Madison, he's like, "Oh, sideburns, you want some of this milk?"
yeah,
Cold beer.
It'll never be our milk.
but if you're asking if I ever met you, no. But
no, but there was definitely. I remember being at that show and knowing Paul kind of well, knowing Johnny a little bit, and definitely getting a feeling when you guys started playing of like, oh shit, like this was huge for people, like there was that energy in there, when you guys played. But then even for me, just knowing you guys, and Paul, obviously Paul, especially, it's maybe more personal to you, Panacea, at least you guys doing that show, but Johnny was involved in that, and Aaron and everything. There was definitely that feeling of like, this is so fucking cool that I know those guys, that I could sit back here and watch these guys on that stage, and it's very impactful. I will say, as somebody younger, getting to experience something like that, and I can only hope that we're able to do something, have kind of a similar effect on people.
Yeah, how do we get that back?
I have no idea.
And I struggle with that a lot because I mean I was fortunate, and even like you mentioned Alan Stout. I mean he grew up in a generation prior to me, kind of, and like as every 4 or 5 years that kind of goes by, like we would lose another venue or whatever it was. So he saw like he'll tell you tell you all the stories about jitterbugs and the station or whatever, like stuff that I've never even experienced. But even like there's stuff that like my wife, who's 4 years younger than me, that she missed out on that I got to experience because just, as time goes on, things just kind of close up or disappear or things change. But I struggle with like and I feel like an old man saying like, "Oh, I remember back one day when we did the X, Y, and Z," and it's like we weren't doing anything like insane. It was just like experience. It was doing stuff. It was packing a bus full of Panacea fans and going to Philly for a show at wherever the hell that was. It's like not hard to do those things, but we just don't do them, and I don't know why.
No, and I'll tell you what too. Like it's definitely that kind of stuff. I think still works to an extent. And maybe not personal experience, but like doing shows with Don't Panic every now and then, even like when I did these last few shows with them, we played a show in Detroit, and before we left, Ted was like, yeah, Detroit's actually one of our better markets, like in the country, like for whatever reason, like people in Detroit really love it. And we played in Detroit, and they had a good group of people, in a place 8-9 hours away from here that like their music just speaks to them, and it really resonates with them. And we played 4 Chord Music Festival at the end of that weekend, and some of the first people through the gates were people wearing Don't Panic shirts, in Pittsburgh, not from this area. And I do think there is something at the end of the day, and So Much Hope Buried is a good example. And like I always think of like University Drive, where I think if you are very genuine in what you do, and you do kind of wear your heart on your sleeve, and you're not afraid to kind of tell your story and stuff like that, it's going to resonate with people at the end of the day, and people are going to want to be a part of that.
Never underestimate the intelligence of your audience.
Yeah. And you'll find the right fans if you're doing what you want to do too. It might take longer, but it's worth it.
Everybody's a lot smarter than you think, and they know when you're genuine. They know when you're full of shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They could connect, and they could kind of latch onto that. I will give Tim Farley a lot of credit with that, because he was very he wrote from the heart, and a lot of his stuff connected with a lot of people, and it resonated, and it shows. It shows the way his passion for it, and how he connected with everybody, and how they connected to what he was saying, his message of various different messages. And it was just cool. It was just really cool to watch, like to be a part of, watch that, try to do that now, and just try to connect with some people.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think even before its release, at least the people I've shown Buck to, you know, I don't want to include family because I think they're going to support you no matter what you do. But you know, it's very much a song that's not holding back, you know, about what its subject matter is in a way. And I definitely think that's already kind of resonating with people. You know, like my mom called me after she watched the video and was like kind of crying, you know, of this is like phenomenal, you know. And again, it's like I think everybody kind of finds their own subject matter that relates to, you know, to things in you know, in that sense. But you know, that's what's kind of nice, you know, what's beautiful about doing it too is that it's something that's so important to us that, but then could also be really important to other people for different reasons even.
Yeah, I think that's what's amazing about music in general is just, you know, the power of it.
You could tie such random things to random songs, like even if they don't pertain to like the subject matter of the song. Like I know like certain songs from, you know, I used to listen to a lot when I really started to get into music, like just like will bring like certain things and times like to my head that have nothing to do with what the song is about, but just, you know, take me back to when I was listening to that song. And like that really is what what music is all about.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever heard the band Iron and Wine before. It's this one guy, but he had this song called Flightless Bird American Mouth that it was like in Twilight or something like that years and years ago, but like there was I don't know whatever I originally attached it to, but there was a while like I could not listen to the song because it just made me so emotional every time I listened to it. When I listened to a podcast like 6 months ago, the guy's like, "Oh yeah, I just wrote it about America and like kind of like our society." It's like shit, like it's not at all what I thought it was about, but it's still like it's still beautiful.
It still instills that feeling in you.
Still like I still feel emotional when I listen to it. Like it's weird, man.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite things about music is, you know, there's so many songs that I not that I don't listen to them, but like it'll take me back to 2003 when I was dating this, you know, a girl who's not my wife, or you know, friends that I don't even talk to anymore, or whatever it might be. It just it takes you right back to that moment, like you said, Chad. It's just like
it's just like the timing of it is There are some like that crack me up where I'm like, that song is so weird for what it makes me think about, but it does, and it's just like I don't know. I like that. I love that.
Well, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and like just like my capacity in my brain has just kind of been limited, but I could, for certain albums, I could tell you almost to the day of the week it came out and what year, because I would just attach like, because you waited for it. You waited 2 years sometimes for your favorite artist to release a new album. So like that was like, you know, release date was like I was at Joe Nardone's Gallery of Sound getting that album, and like, you know, it was like, you know, maybe I was traveling to a softball game or whatever it was, or you know, dating this girl, or the beach trip with the guys, or whatever it might be. And like now, you know, you don't get that as much because like music comes every, you know, few weeks, and there's no like you listen to it, and like I said before, it's kind of like on to the next. Like there's no like anticipation. There's no like, you know, connection, so to speak. So like when people are doing like full albums now, like I really appreciate that they take the time to do that.
I say, well, that happened. Like the last album I could think of that was the last Foo Fighters album for me. You know, that was one. Like I remember, Paul. I guess we would have been finishing Buck, maybe. It was the last day we were recording with Brett. You know, and the kind of last run that we did. That night before the Foo Fighters album came out. It was June 2nd of last year, you know, and I had listened to almost all of the album before I fell asleep, and then listened to the last 2 songs right before I got to Brett's, and like cried walking in the Brett's finishing that album, and then made Paul listen to it, and then we both almost cried in Brett's.
That was a tough one. That was the
but that ended up being the day that like Tot and I lost our house. So it's like now anytime I listen to that, like I just like you're talking about, like it takes me back to I remember every minute of like driving to Brett's house that day, you know, and it's all associated with that album.
I thought you just ate a bunch of like hot fries or something that day, but
Well, it's funny that you should say that.
too.
I just shared the story with If Kansas Had Trees, I believe it was. Similar story. Foo Fighters. My dad passed away on a Monday, and I was in Gallery of Sound in 2005 the next day buying In Your Honor from the Foo Fighters. And I remember playing that. My dad was he was dead, and we were making the funeral arrangements. I was in my mom's garage sweeping the floor listening to that album.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that would do it.
What you said about you guys lost your house. Like,
yeah.
It's like,
Well, and even let's like that specific album, even not in relation to me exactly, Chad, you probably felt very similar. Like, for me, that album was also huge because it was Taylor Hawkins had died.
Right.
The Foo Fighters kind of stopped everything for a while, and then Dave wrote this whole album by himself, and his mom died too.
Mm-hmm.
Like he lost Taylor Hawkins and then his mom, so like, there's like this, a lot of that music is about grieving. For him it was obviously like his best friend and his mother, but then for me listening to it was like, all of this music was about like one of the most inspirational people to me growing up, and like that alone was enough to be like, I'm gonna remember the first time I heard this. I'm gonna remember where I was, because it was just so important when that came out.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's a hard album for me to listen to, though. The Foo Fighters one for me, but such a great album. But yeah, again, music is such a powerful thing, and I hope that people kind of respond that way to this song and appreciate the efforts and the songwriting and the video creation from Novro Studios and Sarah and Eric, and hopefully we can go back to those days, Paulie, when we were doing that cool shit. We might be older now, but like we can still do cool shit.
The wholesome stuff, that is.
Like a diaper and have a walker.
Yeah. For the record, too, Popko, we play a song off In Your Honor as one of the covers on our set. So
yeah, we do.
Prepare to feel when you come out to see us play No Way Back.
Okay.
So
yeah,
there you go.
Great double disc.
See, I was going to say come and find out, but
nope.
Now he doesn't have to.
Laying it all out there.
Yeah. Well, when's the next? You said you have a show coming up. When's the show after that? August, you said. And we'll wrap things up here.
We've got some like acoustic stuff coming up. As far as like another full band thing, it's probably a ways out.
We have a ton of new music that we're going to be gearing up for. I know we mentioned that before, but we really, even more so, I think, than last time. There's so many ideas that basically even done full songs, and then there's other ideas like really good melodies and riffs and things, and it's I've never actually been a part of a project where there was so much ideas like constantly flowing, which is a good thing, I think. At least again, my perspective, it's just just to constantly have that always, it's really just us getting together and hammering it out and then getting in the studio again, but we're ready to go again.
Good.
So
oh yeah,
there's a show coming up. It's gonna be released, or it's gonna be announced soon, that you guys might be a good fit for. Paulie might even already know about it.
We've tried one of those shows we thought would be a good fit for already. We didn't get it, so.
What was that?
Our spirits are shattered.
Taylor Swift.
I don't want to talk about it.
I wanted to go out and get hit by a car after that. I was so disappointed.
Can you tell me off air?
It was like the time the record executive told me I was too big, fat, and I'm like, okay, thanks.
You know what else is big and fat?
Yep.
Right here, buddy.
Jay Money. Right there, baby.
Well, I'll let you guys go.
We'll leave it at.
All right.
We'll leave it at that.
We'll end it on Paulie crying.
Leave it on big and fat.
Big and fat.
I don't give a shit.
Not anymore though. Slimming down.
I didn't care then. I don't care now. It doesn't affect me. I've got my You know, everybody says they have their walls or their defense mechanism. I just gave up worrying about it. It's like, well, I am what I am, and if you don't like me, that's fine. If you like me, that's fine. And I'm still going to get up in the morning and do what I got to do, and eat chicken wings and play guitar and smoke weed and rub my dog's belly when I get home. It's, you know, no, I try not to let anybody affect me anymore, because that's very infantile. And you know, if you let people sit and affect you your whole life, you're never going to do anything.
Right.
There's another public service announcement for me. Do we cover everything?
I think we got it all. I think we got it all.
We talked about sports, talked about drugs.
Big
Talk about politics.
big convenience.
politics.
Big convenience.
Big convenience.
Yeah.
Got
We
it all.
fired off about big convenience.
Yep.
What more could be said?
Domino's versus Pizza Hut.
Yep. We covered all the bases.
Got the rise from pills and masking feelings.
That's right. It's all about the feelings.
Got to feel it.
Everybody's got them, no matter if they want to admit it or not.
Yeah. Well,
It's true.
I hope everyone feels this next song. And if you're watching or listening, go stream Buck. Go watch the video. It's all good stuff.
Thanks, Johnny.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Guys.
thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
Stick around for 2 seconds. I want to hear about this. I got to hear it. But we'll see you.